So I said before that I wasn't going to review, but view happened, so I don't have a way to take a picture, and I'm not gonna like be like that's good enough. So usually I take screenshots. So migration, because here's my thought process of why I was watching this, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, it's a kids movie, and you like kids movies. You made that clear. I made that like My Little Pony before, and shows like that, like Steven Universe and other Cartoon Network and Disney shows. I've watched a lot of like stuff. Um, but why this one? The reason was I was kind of watching it. I'm like, do you know what? This seems like insane. Like one of those shows that's like fully insane, fully knows what it is, but it looks insane fun. It looks like mad, but a mad good time. So like, you know what? Why not? Why not watch it? It's insane. I fully admit that, but at least it's something fun and insane. And I also thought for some reason there's a part of it where like takes place in like a specific place. I'm not gonna say where. If you watch the trailer, actually no, trailers I don't consider spoilers. So in the trailers they show them going to New York. If you see the trailers, I don't consider that spoilers because in the trailers you can get that really easily. And if you're asking why I consider spoilers, I would basically say enough. Besides it, let's say this is a spoiler. Enough, basically something that's in the trailer and IMDb. I will say anything else when I'll mention spoilers because it's slowly starting to be like spoilers. Because I watch a lot of stuff. I watched this and it's less, but like I'm fine. What it basically seems like on like what the trailer is, and this is more theming things. So I wouldn't really say spoilers because I'm not saying much. It's like because with the word migration, you kind of could get this feeling. It's like a big road trip. It's like when you get movies like family road trip movies. It's that, but fun and insane. It's like we could like do this like simplistic, or we could just go fully insane. I'm like, yes. And even though the story is simple, it this bit I'm gonna say it is simple. Spoilers with the theming. It's like one person's nervous, one person's not. One person's more brave. It's about like them finding like a medium ground. It's like that's been done before. Like one person being more nervous, one person being more brave, and then being like there is a sense of like the world is scary and there is a way to do that without being like, oh no, I can't see the world because of how scary it is. There's a middle ground, and I agree with that. And I do understand that this is not a complex movie. I fully am aware of that. But I look at this and I'm like, this is awesome. Not because of its complexity, not because of its deep characters, just because it is a fun, hilarious time. And it's so just. It's not one of those movies where you have to think, it's just like, oh, this is just good. Obviously, there's like some really like. You kind of have a feeling of like, oh, they're gonna be fine. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like they're gonna be fine. At the end of the day, you don't fear them being like, and then they die. You don't fear that. It's not that type of movie. Obviously, with Illumination, you fear a little more lightheartedness. Obviously, they have done darker, but it's more like lightheartedness than most. But the one thing which I have to admit is the reason why I like it is the jokes, the comedies. Because I'm not the biggest fan of Illuminations. I know everyone's like, Despicable Me, Despicable Me. I was never a fan. Until recently, like, I was okay. The first Despicable Me, I was like, oh, okay. Like, the villain's okay. And the only reason why I like it and read any way that you want to read this is when they bring the spy in. Like, because I thought that her sort of like, being like Gru being like that's so good. And even then I thought it was like with the villain. I just liked her character in it and I think it's got better in certain ways. And I am at a point where I'm like, I'm actually going to plan to watch Despicable Me 4 because it looks quite interesting. I was never like planning to watch Despicable Me 1, 2, 3. I think I watched Despicable Me 1 on the plane. I like downloaded it for something, and then I was like, oh, I'm going on a holiday with someone. Why not? I've got time to kill. So besides Mario, which I know what's sort of going to happen, but as Mario's, it's not going to be as paint by numbers that it traditionally is. But Mario isn't a deep story. But that was the only one that I'm like, yeah, I want to see Mario. That's the first movie. Even Despicable Me 4, I slowly am like being like, maybe we can actually do something decent. Because migration, I'm going to say this fully seriously. This could change based on the Mario movie, but for this time being, migration, and I do not care who I annoy, is the best Illumination film. Not because it's deep story, because you don't need to be the best and be deep story. You could just be fun. And yes, you say this coming across a guy who watches, like, who says, like, one of the best video games. I haven't played it, but the best video game story-wise is Persona 4, Persona 5. But then again, I haven't watched much comedy video games. If you want to tell me about video games that are comedy, please let me know, because I want to hear about that. But, yeah. This, in my opinion, legitimately, probably because Despicable Me is the only Illumination films I've seen. I think. No, that's DreamWorks, never mind. This is probably the only one, besides Mario, that I might see, and this will be the second best, but this is the best, in my opinion, Illumination film. The story is simple? Yeah, I agree with that. I admit it. This is just fun.